Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, spiritual enlightenment or spiritual awakening is like peeling an onion. Probably you have heard this term before, and it is true. It's like peeling an onion. But what does it mean in the spiritual path when you're walking the path? It means peeling your mind. Why peeling the mind? Because mind is an idea and truth is not an idea. That's why we have to peel the mind to get to the truth. Peeling the mind is the way to go to no mind. And no mind is the plain sight truth. So that's the work. Now, notice our life is happening from the place of mind. And mind has become the reality for majority of the people. Mind has become true. Why? Because the experience we go through in life is always bringing the idea of pleasure and pain, upgrade or stagnation. And we take the positive experience as true. And repeating the positive experience becomes the ingrained belief in oneself. And from that, that idea becomes true. One of the, idea that has become true in the person is the idea of God, isn't it? Even without the experience, the idea of God is true. Why? Because the world, our environment, is pushing that idea, influencing us with that idea. And we are doing ritual with that idea. Ritual is participating, and from the participating, there's a sense of ease. There's a sense of clarity. Something is happening as a good experience. And when you are going through the good experience, the idea of God becomes real. The thing is that God is not an idea. God is not even an experience. So, our life is happening from the place of idea, place of ingrained belief. Basically, all ideas, all ingrained belief, all ingrained preference is coming from our experience. When we are alive, we are engaged with the world. And from that engagement, from that experience, the experience always leaves the residue as an idea. So basically, our mind is full of ideas. And to be free from the mind, from the nagging mind that is creating a fear, we have to peel the mind until we get to no mind. No doubt, positive mind is the functioning world. positive mind connects the dots. Positive mind is the mind that is the relative truth. It's not a make-believe, truth, but it's a relative truth. And the relative truth itself is also, there's a pattern to it. The lowest pattern to the highest pattern. And again, those quality that we implement in our lives is a healthy choice. It's a healthy ego. However, when we start to walk on the spiritual path, we have to let go the positive ideas as well. We have to let go the relative truth as well. That's the process. We cannot walk on the spiritual path by just, looking into the things that we want to look. We have to look into the mind as a whole. We have to see the positive, investigate the positive conditioning and the negative aspect of the mind as well, which is the act of denial, act of pushing away the negative mind. So we have to look into the both. The duality has to be investigated. Normally when people are walking the path, we only investigate one side. Because of that, we fail to see the truth. All mind has to go. All mind has to be peeled away. By the way, the journey towards the plain sight truth or awakening to the inner truth is about taking out all the layers. Investigating all the layers. Why? Because the layer itself is a reality, isn't it? Our life is functioning from that. And investigating is the way to see whether the reality we're thinking is real or not, is by reversing the mind, is by, taking out the layers. Right now, what's happening in the spiritual world is to remove the layers. Thinking, okay? That's what people are thinking. To remove the layers, they are sitting in a meditation and controlling their body and mind with technique, with a reference point they bring in the body and a mind. Now, as I have always said, that when you focus on something that helps you to, forget this struggle, forget, the chaotic mind. And the result of that is you feel that momentary sense of ease and peace in you from any meditation practice. But this is what people don't realize, that you are still adding a layer in your mind to get that result. You are inviting certain technique, whether that is the mantra, visualization, or creating the um, or controlling the body with the body, with the, creating a focal point in the body, focusing something in the body. So those are the layers. That layer has to go as well. Those layers will help you to cut down the distraction, anchor you. But once you anchor, you have to utilize that to walk the path further back. And if you don't walk the path backward in dissolving the mind, and if you repeat that, that itself becomes the ingrained conditioning. It will numb you by repeating it. Why? Because the reason for you to repeat that is because it's working, isn't it? Your life was chaotic before. Now using that technique, your life is more settled. You have found the way to, anchor yourself. That practice, is making you, forget your pain, your struggle, your fear, your conflict that you're facing in life momentarily. And when you see it as a momentary relief, there's an idea in you that it is working for me. You repeat. You always can go there. And that's how the practice numbs us. But you must realize that, the people must realize that, it is the momentary relief, momentary freedom. Once you're done with that practice, you have to face the world. When you're facing the world, all those conflicts, the struggle, the pain, the fear resurface again. And when it resurfaces, all that sense of peace is washed away. We're back in the turmoil. So if you see yourself doing that practice and it's not working to resolve the fear from your life, and this is where you have to invite peeling the mind, not adding something in your mind to be free. That's not freedom. That's momentary freedom. True freedom from the mind is by investigating on the mind, by peeling the mind backward, peeling the mind to get to what is true in you, the plain sight truth within. That's the process. I guarantee that right now people are ignoring this peeling the onion process. And because of that, we are moving from the place of mind, and we see the mind as true. Not just that, we also try to figure out the freedom in the mind as well. We try to figure out the truth in the mind, where the mind is the false in the first place. You might pull something, upgraded ideas from the mind. No matter how upgraded the mind is, still not true, because its nature is always changing. See, upgraded mind is the changing. It has a changing nature. And the mind changes because of the experience that you go through. Notice before sudden experience. You have sudden idea. Then you go through the experience. The upgraded experience comes in. The more you put yourself in any path, the new ideas will emerge. And that is how the relative world works. When you put yourself in any practice, you are on the gross level in the beginning. Then when you focus further, then you see the subtlety. Then the subtlest, That's how the mind upgrades. And the highest upgrade in us has become something true. And whether it's true or not, we have to investigate. And that's the way to come back to the plain sight truth. So, investigating the mind is the missing piece in the spiritual practice, specifically deconstructing the mind, tracing the mind backward. Tracing the mind backward is to get to no mind. No mind is where you cannot walk back on the mind anymore. But that itself is not yet. Practice hasn't come to an end yet. And this is where you have to ask yourself, who am I? And when you ask, who am I, then you catch yourself. When you catch the plain sight truth, now that will bring the spiritual journey to an end. And now your, life really begins. Begins here means life continues without fear, without the conflict, without that mental narration. You are not stressed by your mind. The mind becomes an ally and you move with awareness. But before that, it's different, isn't it? Your mind is an enemy. And mind is creating the stress in your life, fear in your life. Life is happening from the place of fear, pre-enlightenment. Post-enlightenment, freedom, inside and out. The outer struggle is still going to be there because we have to face the people and, that is somewhat challenging. But even there's a challenge, we see things as it is. Post-enlightenment. And we just connect whatever can be connect. And you just move along, move with that. Basically, you become the awareness. You're not moving from the mind. You're not the mind anymore. Mind is helpful to connect the reference together as a reference only, but the life happens from the place of awareness. Why? Because you are the awareness in the first place. You are the observer, the awareness, the consciousness. And we take that as we become that and we move with that. Anyway, again, spiritual path is like peeling an onion, and peeling the onion in the spirituality means peeling your mind until there is no mind is left. Okay, that's the journey. Hope this video makes sense to some extent, and I hope you're continuing your backward movement. Keep going. Thanks for watching this video. Take it for now. Bye.